Hello viewers, I'm Getting Shangte, the program host. Today I'm here, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which being built on the Nile River. The dam has already been completed, which is a great congratulations for the people of Ethiopia and the government, even the African continent entirely. This would probably connect the region through electric and power, and that will contribute a lot for the African Union ambition to create regional connectivity and integration. And today I have also a guest who is Lawrence Freeman, an American political economic analyst, and who is also wrote a lot of articles on the Ethiopian Grand Renaissance Dam. Well, Ethiopia has achieved this construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam through many ups and downs. So what's your message for the people of Ethiopia and the government for its success in general?
Well, actually, the completion of the GERD has several implications for Africa. One is that it's going to provide an additional 5,150 megawatts, and that will help the entire Horn of Africa and actually East Africa. Right now, Ethiopia is supplying electricity to Djibouti, to Kenya, to Sudan, and is planning to soon supply electricity to Tanzania. So the economic integration has already begun. Now, from my standpoint, as a physical economist, we need a lot more energy for Ethiopia and for Africa. But this is the biggest injection of energy into the continent in recent decades. And it also now places Ethiopia as the second largest producer of energy in sub-Saharan Africa.
So what's your message for the people of Africa, especially for African leaders, the African unions, to to promote this success and also to own this construction of the Ethiopian Grand Renaissance Dam?
But there's another layer to this, which is the fact that Ethiopia could do this on their own, funded by their own citizens, has shown the rest of Africa that we don't have to sit back and complain and simply rely on handouts. We need every African country following the model of Ethiopia and building an energy supply that can raise the standard of living of the people, increase the manufacturing sector, increase irrigation, and eliminate poverty. So Ethiopia has set an excellent example for the rest of the continent.
You know, the African Union itself and Africa in general are seeking for regional integration. And the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is expected to accelerate this regional integration by connecting countries with power. So what's your expectation to connect the region, especially in the continent, in Africa in general?
Well, one thing we saw that there's at least 3 layers that the dam has built into it to provide overflow water to continue to flow down the Nile to Sudan and eventually Egypt. So not only is there a shortage or reduction of water, but the construction of the dam itself has maximized the ability to use floodwaters, if the rainy season goes well, to send more water to Sudan, to send more water to Egypt. So the argument is settled. There is no reason for Egypt, and especially Sudan, to argue the success of this dam, and this dam will help downstream countries. They will be getting more water at a more powerful rate than they are getting otherwise. So we should end all objections and all discussion that talks about how the dam will have a negative effect on downstream countries. The dam is the beginning of a new discussion of the Nile Basin nations and the Nile Basin Initiative on how we're going to raise the standard of living of hundreds of millions of Africans, and we're going to eliminate poverty. And this dam now is at the center of that process. Well, this is obviously a great success to the people of Ethiopia, the government of Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who persevered. The government and the people persevered. And they did something that is very important to me as a philosopher and as an economist. They proved that mankind, human beings, through the creative powers of their mind, can intervene into nature, can intervene into the physical universe and make the universe better and improve the standard of living and the lives of the people living in the region. So on this level, Ethiopia should be complimented.
And one final message. So this is a great success, I think, for the Ethiopian people and the government, as well as an African in general, because there is a wrong narrative, anti-African narrative, which Africa cannot execute its project by itself. So what kind of message that would send for the entire world for this success of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam?
Well, there's a problem that many people have, and many countries have, and many political leaders have, not just in Africa, but people think small. And I don't like small. You have to think big. You have to think, how do we transform? Not just improve a little bit here or there, but actually transform, alter, so that the future is better than the present for our children. So the fact that Ethiopia thought big with the initiation of this dam, I think in 2012 by Meles Zenawi, it's continued through several governments. It's been championed by Abiy Ahmed, and I think this proves that Africans, like anyone else in the world, is capable of thinking big and changing the course of history. I think one thing that African countries should do is they should visit the GERD. Very, very few African countries have visited the GERD. Western countries should visit the GERD. The AU should visit the GERD. I feel privileged that I could visit it twice, and other nations and other people in the region, and some of the Westerners who are not really up to snuff about what's going on in Africa. Everybody should come and visit the GERD and see for themselves what has been accomplished, and then that should be emulated.
Thank you, Laurus, for your time. I appreciate it.